What's going on, everybody? It's T Reaper and I'm back with another video. Today I'm gonna talk about something kind of different, but it relates to what everybody's talking about right now. So I want you all to sit back, listen, and enjoy. And at the end of the video, if you agree, please leave a like, comment if you wish, I'll reply back, and so on and so forth. So today we're going to approach gaming. Gaming, let's be honest, is really a pop cultural thing that never thought would actually be mainstream. Okay? Because you gotta think back to where most of us come from that play video games nowadays that are all adults. We're all either millennials or we're all Generation X. Or we could be baby boomers, but then I would feel bad for you. But at the same time, you know, the people, you know, this thing is is culture. Culture has many ins and outs. It has many definitions of what it should be. It has many opinions and views of what makes it great and what makes it suck. But at the end of the day, it's like something that has been being built on for the last 20 years. And how far it's come is amazing. But, you know, the only people that really will, you know, appreciate how far it's come is those who have lived that journey. And, you know what? You know, I say this journey has been fun. I say this journey has been, you know, amazing. You know, what gaming was in the 1990s to now in, you know, almost approaching 2020, you know, it's amazing, yo. And, you know, for all you old cats out there that want to quote me older, go right ahead if you wish. I welcome it. Go right ahead, guys. But, you know, I found my joy in gaming in the 90s, guys, and in the early 2000s. You know, I had fun. You know, it was fun. You know, shout out to erok. You know, bro, this is not a diss. This is just an education. It was fun. You know, back then, you know, it wasn't, you know, mainstream. You're right. I agree. It wasn't mainstream. We were trying to make it mainstream, though. That was kind of the point. The point was to, you know, to actually make it mainstream and make it pop culture and actually make it a thing that people could live off of and actually, you know, have a living, working job doing it and actually having fun and working around games is actually, you know, pop culture. It's accepted. The whole goal was to get it accepted. You know, no matter if you played Dungeons and Dragons all the way to Mario, Super Smash Brothers, all the way up to Halo, all the way to Call of Duty, all the way to Fortnite that we are here today. So, it's this, you know, it you know, doesn't matter where we all come from as gamers. It matters that, you know, it's been in our bloodstream. We were raised with it. You know, we are, we are the ones that, you know, started with it to the ones who were birthed with it, the ones who were raised with it. We are the ones that appreciate what this, you know, hobby turned pop culture is. And I agree. You know, now it seems all it is, you know, what is the next BR? What is the next Battle Royale? No one ever talks about old school pop culture gaming anymore. I agree. That sucks. But you know what? That's what the name of the game is. It evolves, it changes. We might not like what the hobby has turned into, but at the end of the day, we still spend our money on it, people. We still swipe that card, and we still choose to work with it. We still choose to, you know, educate others about it. We still love it nonetheless. So I argue that, you know, what it evolves is what it evolves into. That's the name of the game. Now, I would argue the people that are leading this industry that we care about have been doing this for a very long time, and I think they actually know what they're doing. So, let's give them a chance to show that they know what they're doing. Now, if turns out, you know, education proves that, you know, they don't know what they're doing, then you can get mad. But for the name of this game, if everybody's having fun on Crackdown, so to speak, no one should be caring about the mediocre scores or reviews. If you're having fun, that means it's a solid product. It means it has quality. It has value. The end. But, you know, don't get mad because, that IGN dude totally mocked the score. I hate this game. This game sucks. Nah, you can't do that. Because if you do that, then you're automatically just assuming what other people think is fact, and you're not making up your own mind. So please make up your own mind and judge the game for yourself. Are you personally having fun? Does it actually make you enjoy? Does it make you laugh? Does it make you, accelerate? Does it actually make you have fun for a change? Then if the answer is yes, then it means it's a good product, good value, and, good purchase. The end. And plus Game Pass makes it a steal upon God. And all the games that are in Game Pass. Game Pass is just a steal for first-party titles. Voila. And, back in the day, we didn't have that. You're right. I agree. We didn't have that back in the day. Now, back in the day, it was all about buying memory cards and buying cartridges and buying, the next, frickin', Game Boy Advance game or the next Sega Genesis title. It was a lot simpler back in the day. I agree. It has been a lot complicated, but maybe that's just age. I don't know. But, with us millennials, we kind of grew up in a technological, environment to begin with. We were raised with it. I argue that now, now the culture that it has become now for the children of today is a lot more extreme than it was for us. But then again, I agree. I agree that, things evolve. So, if it wasn't as bad as it was in 2000, imagine how bad it is in 2019, people. Yeah, that's gonna be kind of insane. We kind of should have seen that coming. I agree, but that's also kind of funny. So, now ponies get upset that they lose in Fortnite to 16-year-olds and and 13-year-olds. That's very funny. But hey, back in the day, we all got mad that we lost at Nightfire or Golden Axe, or it was just like yeah. What's the other one? Gotham Racing. Everybody got pissed off when they lost at that. Then of course the big one was Super Smash Brothers. And then yeah. So gaming as a culture, it just evolves over time. I would also then argue that the people that grew up with this have now evolved into adults. That is the culture, that the problem that these companies face is they built this empire on the concept of millennial wishes. So the concept is that because millennials have now grown up and are now adults and are now having real life problems and not caring so much about video games, I would argue that you would shift your audience to people that it would better gravitate to. I said this in my last video that Microsoft's thing is they cater to everybody, but at the end of the day, you also want to be chasing successful, thriving products, So you want to try to dab in both. Now, do I think the future of gaming lies in Battle Royale? Hell no. But at the same time, you can't deny that it is part of pop culture. Sorry. But now that it is a part of culture, it's just it's just one of those things you see every day. You turn on, it's just like normal. You turn on HBO, you automatically see Game of Thrones. If you turn on Netflix, the first thing that's going to show up is the Marvel or the comedy strips that are up. If you put on Hulu, the first thing that's going to pop up is what's new. So it's just become part of culture, and now we have to deal with the other thing that is also apparent is people forget that because this is a culturally thing and is now pop culture, which is now mainstream, the things that made this culture, whether you play this for single player reasons, whether you play this for the grind of the multiplayer, Whether you do this because you like that wonderful Mario adventure or the wonderful, Link and Zelda, adventure on the Switch. We all have different reasons why this, gaming hobby, why gaming means so much to us individually. And I would argue that because, people don't play the way that you like, doesn't necessarily make them any less of a gamer. Now, what you can do is you can argue, well, if someone is talking about multiplayer content and they don't play multiplayer content, but they play single player, then what you can do is you can listen to their opinion. You don't have to take them seriously, but you can listen to their opinion nonetheless, because maybe they have an educational opinion that you don't know about, or maybe they've seen something that you don't know about. Maybe there's a reason they don't play multiplayer games anymore. Maybe there's a reason they only like single player experiences. It's just the concept is that people have different reasons why gaming is important to them. What makes what makes gaming, what makes you love it so much? Is it the thrill of the BR on Fortnite, whether it be PlayStation or Xbox? Is it the thrive of PUBG on Xbox One? Is it the awesome thrill of Apex Legends, that it's free to play? Is that what drives you? Is it the lack of cost? If you really want to go that route, is it what is it? The fact that you just love shooters? And I want to bring back to the other concept. Back in the day, it's like 1990s. So it was awesome for me because I was a PC dude back in the day. I was a PC dude, and the problem is I was playing Doom and Quake and Diablo 2, and I didn't really know what I was going to do because I had already broken 2 PCs. And because I had already broken 2 PCs, my parents wanted to get me off of getting gaming on PC forever, because I would just download betas after betas after betas after betas after betas and betas. Play them all day, play them all day, play them all day, play them all day, break the PC. Then my stepdad, who was a software engineer, had to fix the computer over and over and over and over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, they just got tired of paying for, multiple thousand PCs, and, just decided, here, play consoles. It's cheaper, you won't break it as easy. And they were right, you don't break it as easy. And that's kind of the good thing, and that's kind of the one reason I like consoles, and don't ever see myself returning to PCs. The only reason I use a PC now is because I do, this channel, and I have to, I like to use, Adobe software to edit my videos, if anybody is curious how this stuff is made. But, I also like to, experiment with, editing and the art of video making and stuff like that. So, that's why I use a PC. I don't use it for gaming anymore. If you really want to hear why I don't really like, PC gaming, and the whole reason why I got out of it, leave a like and, leave a comment saying, yeah, I want to hear about it, or, ask me about it in the comment section and I'll explain it too. But it's just, once I touched Halo, and once I had fun on Halo 2, Xbox Live back in the day, I was hooked, and I didn't see myself ever leaving that type of, FPS kind of environment ever again. And like I said, other people, getting back to what I was saying about, it draws in people for different reasons. If you like shooters, on Xbox, that's kind of what kind of made it thrive, it was the shooter box. And PlayStation was the story-driven component. And I don't really think over the years that's really changed that much, if you really ask me. Even though PlayStation has gone multi-plat and is more mainstream with its PSN and stuff like that, I don't really think that has changed. I don't. I still see Xbox as the community that is try-hard. I know a lot of you have issues with that. But at the same time, I would also argue that, Xbox has always been that way. There's nothing different about that. Even when, it wasn't sophisticated enough to have party chat, it was still like that in the in-game chat, from day one all the way to now. It hasn't changed. You can be restrictive on the material that you let the players play all you want, but at the end of the day, party chat, it's just it's freedom of speech. The end. You can't really get by it. And then on PSN it's different. I don't really play PlayStation online, and I never have. I don't like doing that. I'm not a PlayStation player, competitive player, and that's kind of the other thing that's different between the two. Now you can argue before you trolls in the comment section decide to lecture me. You can argue that PlayStation has esports, and it has competitive tournaments and stuff like that. That's cool. What also has that? Xbox, PC, GameCube, everything on this planet has had that. It doesn't impress me. But you know what I do know? I know that the most fiercest players that I come across are always on Xbox. They're always on Xbox. And PC. And PC too. Think Xbox as like PC children. They are PC children, for the most part, if you really think about it. The elders who watch this video, please think about that real quick before you judge me. Yeah, the Xbox, are really PC children. That's what they are. They at a time when PC gaming was getting stale, Xbox offered them a new route of enjoyment in Halo. It also, Halo CE and Halo 2 also came to PC as well. So that also thrived that for a while. But on Xbox it was something on the couch with your friends. It was a new experience for everybody, and it hooked people, and it's hooked people to this day. Others would argue that you like split screen, and you want split screen and the aspect, but the aspect of split screen was because there was no Xbox Live. Once Xbox Live was launched, the idea was to get people off split screen and on separate devices. That way you can have your own full screen to yourself, so on and so forth. You can have your own game, and then then it really went towards connectivity, which was like where we are today. And now the issue is, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, I want to point this out to everybody who listens to this video. We're in 2019, people. Next gen is next year. So everybody who is on Facebook asking if they should get an Xbox One X, that is a yes, you should, because it is a gateway to next generation. But everybody who is like still on an OG Xbox, wondering if they should get an Xbox One S, if your OG Xbox still works, don't bother upgrading until next year, please, because you're gonna waste a lot of money for no reason, and that's just it's not gonna be worth it. Now this is kind of where I kind of see myself going in in a year's time. In a year's time, I probably will either have the Anaconda, the xCloud, and an PS5, or I'll basically just have an Anaconda and an xCloud. I have to make up my mind whether I wish to have a PS5 to begin with, and if I really want the games that are going to be released for it, and if even if the PS5 comes out and is surviving to the day that it actually releases. So we will see. I want to see what PlayStation has in store, what they have to offer the future coming generation with games. Do any of them look interesting? Do any of them look appealing? And I have really particular taste. So at the end of the day, we all love this hobby for many different reasons. Some of us are Mario geeks. Some of us are Halo nerds. Some of us are multicultural and we love everything. Some people are particular. Some people love Crackdown 3. Some people love The Witcher 3. Some people love Call of Duty. Some people love the Telltale games. Some people love backwards compatibility games. We are all different tastes. There's all different things that drive us to this hobby that we all love. Yes, I agree that, all gamers should be included in the evolution of this product. But, Microsoft, I would ask you this. What would be more beneficial for your future? Would it be the online factor where everybody is online and everybody coexists, and you only spit out multiplayer games, or would it be, would it be just a narrative route where you only shoot out, games like Rise, Son of Rome, Quantum Break, the Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider cycle, would it be games like that you spit out, or, the rest of Gears of War, and the continuation of Halo? Is that what you would spit out, or would you spit out multicultural games? Would you spit out a bit of both? I would argue that you would please both. You would please everybody if you spit out a little bit of everything for everybody. Something that so everybody can enjoy something. If that makes sense. Something for everybody, basically. And that is kind of the biggest thing right now, that doesn't seem like everything is basically going the way that everybody thinks it should, because everything looks like it's going towards that VR model, which is kind of also part of how this culture is evolving. Because now what they want to do is, now they want to do everything by phone, which is going to be kind of interesting, but it might actually work. We'll see. That's going to be kind of interesting how they want to, how Microsoft wants to try to pull that off. But it might be cool. It might be a new breach in technology we don't know about. But at the same time, everybody loves this thing, these games and this, these systems, whether you be PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, mobile. Everybody is a gamer in their own way. Now, I would argue that, yes, we have people in this community that do not game correctly. Yes, that is very true. But what would you deem as correctly, though, is my question. Because I have a personal, definition of that, Personally, I'm basically happy listening to you as long as you have a decent way with words, a decent sense of humor, and your gameplay is yours, and you didn't have anybody take it for you, and you're not farming it. It doesn't really bother me that much. But sometimes you have people who do these videos that none of these footage is even theirs, and it's kind of annoying to watch. And there's not really anybody that's connected to kind of the community that that we're all a part of. Everybody who watches this channel. It's kind of more of like the mainstream YouTubers who do it that I watch. And you can some do and some don't. But that's kind of the wonderful big controversy between Downward Thrust and Clean Prince Gaming. If anybody really watches them, if you do, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, it's kind of it's always been Thrust Thrust is a fraud and Clean Prince is a fraud. It was like, oh god, and it's because they didn't get their own footage at first, and that was kind of their problem. They tried to do this YouTube biz, just like erok X, shout out to him, was pointing out people who do it without even gaming. Very true. And those were the type of people that were doing it at first, and then they learned better, and then it was actually their stuff. But at the same time, people like to take shortcuts. People like to, relax. And that's not really something that everybody should really, practice. You should really try to work for it, And, getting on to the kind of the meat of the subject here, I kind of agree with erok X that the culture that games today doesn't know how to take an L. I agree with that. I totally agree. You know what the problem with that concept is, though? They don't know how to take an L because they've never been taught how. So it's not really their fault. And I agree that sometimes you get people that don't know how to take L's effectively, and sometimes they're just a sore loser. I find those people are very rare that you run into, though. Sometimes they're just little squeakers that just don't, were never taught how to take an L in their life, and they just hate losing. They just can't, it's just one of those things, they just can't take losing, That's kind of how you're playing with a good player, that, even if they lose, they'll still play in your lobby, because they just want to get better, and that's kind of the thing. But yeah, you're right, people don't know how to take L's in this generation, and that's kind of That's kind of a bad thing that we're all fostering. We're all fostering the concept that it's okay to, everybody gets to win. The concept of competition is that there's a winner and a loser. The concept is that, if you want to win, you have to work effectively hard enough to get to that skill level to basically get to number one. That's why there's leaderboards. That's why there's, competitions everywhere. That's why there's esports, to prove who is the best on this, this planet that wishes to do it pro. But then again, that's kind of just what people would, basically argue. But yeah, all in all, this culture has really, has evolved since I, started. And I started this, in 1996, people. I've been, gaming a really long time. And I do agree that it has changed over, a few decades. But I think that, it's not, it's still gaming. I still have fun. I don't really have an issue with quality, the content, what I'm given every year. I still spend a decent $1,000 to $1,200 a month or a year, given what I'm given to spend with, They still get my cash. It don't really matter, I still spend a decent. I don't know what my gaming, spending record is on now. If I had to hazard a guess, I would think it would be somewhere close to 10,000, if I had to guess, because I spent a decent 2K in this generation. So or more. So and that's just with my own stuff, people. I'll get into kind of the concept of being a privileged gamer. Oh, I love privileged gamers. Privileged gamers are awesome. But I'll get into that on another video. Anyway, this is T Reaper. I hope you guys all enjoyed my wonderful speech. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, follow me on Twitter. I'm mostly always online as well. If you want to hit me up on Xbox Live, and we will approach the PC issue for everybody who watches this from Twitter. The wonderful PC issue we are all experiencing. We'll address that in a few days. I have to think on it. Have a good one, everybody. Later.